Okay, well, welcome everyone. We're going to visit e-learning, attitude, and latitude today. I'm Nita Teeters. It's February 4th, 2015, and I'm really happy to have everyone here with me today, Patrick and Andrew, and anyone who ends up looking in a virtual mode. So, just a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, make sure that you're ready to fully participate, and that means maybe closing a door or turning off a cell phone. And secondly, we like to do a quality check, so I'm going to use the whiteboard tool to just kind of make sure that everybody is on the same page, no pun intended. When we are looking at our screen, I'm going to get a pointer here so that I can point to the items I want you to take a look at for your screen, and for whatever reason, the pointer tool is not working, so I can't do that. So we'll do a little something different. I apologize. So here's your screen in the upper right-hand corner. You should have a blue button that says recording, and you should also have right beneath that the word follow with a check sign. So if you have both of those, if you could hit your, use your check mark to tell me, that would be awesome. And there we go. So if you could hit the check mark to say that you can see the recording and see the following, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on. And once again, we're going to talk about e-learning, attitude, and latitude. And I'm going to turn my video off now just so that it doesn't affect the bandwidth. Okay, so a couple of learning goals for today. What we will know, hopefully, by the end of this session, is that the attitudes of the players will affect the success of the game. And what I mean by that is the players within the higher education industry. That would be faculty, that would be staff, that would be technology individuals, that could be leadership. So hopefully we'll know by the end of this session that their attitudes will affect the success. And then secondly, I hope that we will learn that giving latitude to the players will open their minds to new ways of thinking. So what is the e-learning climate on campuses in higher education today? So we are going to take a little poll, and as I'm speaking here, I'm going to set it up so that you will be able to give me an A, B, C, or D answer. But I would like to know whether you think that the average faculty member feels, how do you think the average faculty member feels about online learning? Okay, and I think I'm going to go ahead and answer as well, and I'm going to say somewhat negative. So I don't know if it will allow me to vote, but I did. So that's just some of the sessions. I worked at UD for a couple of years, and I participated in several faculty development initiatives, not surrounding e-learning, but surrounding other things. And I know that this topic does definitely affect faculty, and we're going to talk about maybe why. So hopefully that was helpful to you to think about that as we get started. So faculty may see e-learning as a threat to their favorite pastime, lecturing. And I found this little picture and thought it was kind of funny. So hopefully you got a giggle out of that. So what we really want is that is latitude. And latitude, if you look up in the dictionary, Dictionary.com says it's room to maneuver, enough scope or leeway for some freedom of choice, action, or thinking. And so there just needs to be some room given to open discussion about e-learning, and instead of sort of force-feeding it to faculty, there needs to be some room for freedom, because academic freedom is a very important concept to faculty. So the debate. The 2014 Inside Higher Ed and Gallup poll that surveyed faculty and technology administrators reminded me of this sort of famous commercial that ran for a while, maybe a year or so ago. Maybe you saw it. If you saw it, maybe give me a smiley face. If you saw any of these commercials that were PC versus Mac. Okay, good. I'm glad that you saw those commercials and kind of know who these fellows are. And so kind of funny that the little guy on the left was representing PCs, which were supposed to be kind of old-fashioned. And then the guy on the right was representing Mac. He was supposed to be cool and hip. So the survey itself really reminded me of these two guys, because basically what was being said was that technology administrators had wonderful things to say about online learning, and faculty members had a lot of misgivings and fears that the learning wasn't going to be good enough, and just weren't really on board. Faculty attitudes definitely lagged, so the scales were tipped to the side of the technology administrators. And Andrew, I see you have a little microphone with some little red dots, and I'm wondering if you're having audio issues. Would you like to give me a frowny face, maybe, if that's the case? Okay, I see that you're doing an audio check, so I wonder if you lost us. Hopefully you will get caught up. Are you back, Andrew? Smiley face or talk, either one? Hopefully you're good. If not, obviously you can catch up on the recording. Okay, so the perceptions of faculty were that the learning was going to be lower quality. So let's just think about that little bit of information. I'd like you to use your chat just to tell me, how do you think that the attitudes of faculty might be changed so that they could see the benefits of e-learning? Maybe send me a chat. Okay, I'm not seeing any chats. I'm hoping that, here we go. Okay, so yes, if they would participate in an online class, that makes sense. And also they do need proof that it works. So some of these studies, such as the poll that we read and saw the webinar about, would be helpful for faculty to see. So effective technology can definitely bring, and that is very similar to one of your responses, is maybe participating in an online class. Technology can definitely improve the effectiveness of education, and it kind of bridges that distance and time that exists more and more as more students are non-traditional. So greater success is definitely going to come when learning is successfully applied, and that's going to take training, and it's going to take, as you had mentioned, it's going to take folks participating in this. So how do you think technology can help institutions meet students where they are? Do you have any ideas about ways that technology can help institutions meet students where they are? Think of non-traditional students, folks like you and I that work during the day. We are maybe going to school and have families. So can you give me a chat? This is just a real quick chat of one way that you think technology can help in those situations. Oh, okay. So guard and reserve that you can't reach except on their duty days. So having something that would be available for them when they are available would definitely help. Students that need a few credits. So definitely. And so I think there's a need for some techniques of offering coursework and even partial coursework to meet the needs of these students. So there's an issue of quality versus quantity, and improving the quality and success of online learning may not necessarily mean that everything should go online. And that was sort of one of the concepts that was discussed in one of the webinars that we viewed this week, in that the blending of online and face-to-face might be an excellent way of achieving the quality without having everything online, so that students have an element perhaps when they're, like you said, when you're guard and reserve are able, perhaps they can attend classes in person, but when they're not able, they would have the opportunity to do coursework online. Okay, so I want to use just one more time the chat box to say, how can online learning be used to strengthen learning in the traditional classroom? And this is something that we reviewed this week, and we learned a little bit. I touched on the blended learning, and we also discussed MOOCs even within the webinars that we viewed this week. And so do you think a traditional classroom can be, shaped and strengthened by these things, and if so, how do you think that might be accomplished? Flipping the class, perfect. So definitely, and that was one of the things I saw that I really thought would be effective in some of the courses that my own children are taking at school, where the instructor is spending so much time trying to teach concepts that they, they're not getting much out of it, and they're struggling with their homework, and they have no time with the instructor to work the problem. So I definitely agree with you. And I do like the polling idea as well. That is awesome. The clickers would be awesome. Okay, so I think when we know better, we do better. So learning from the past, maybe these online courses that are just, a recording that somebody has to listen to and then answer a bunch of questions, we've learned that that's not the best way. But doing something that will incorporate a sense of community and interaction, these are new things that have been sort of discovered to be more effective, and so knowing better, we can do better. And I think one of the biggest keys for that is definitely collaborative leadership. Change is always going to be met with resistance, and I can tell you higher education campuses, faculty are in particular very resistant to change, and there is some anxiety right now just because of the whole, a lot of adjunct faculty, tenure is, considered a dirty word, but it's really, really important to faculty, and then all of this technology that they don't know or understand. It's a bit of anxiety, and so good leadership is going to be absolutely critical. We need folks that are willing to sit at the table with the technology administrators, with the instructors, with staff, and include students in the conversation to find ways to incorporate better technologies that will meet students where they are. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this was helpful, and I will actually stop the recording at this time.